Oh, this is a rare treat. Not this. Not that either. But this. I should have put this a bit closer to the camera. There you go. Hot cup of tea. Milk. Of course. And 2 spoons of a decent sweetener. Because for some reason tea with sugar doesn't taste sweet to me. Not like how I remember tea tasting. It certainly tastes different, but it doesn't taste sweet. So, it's a bit unusual considering we're not even halfway into August. How rare is that? So anyway, got the old CRT glasses on. And of course the stupid executive chair is not wanting to play ball. Actually, that don't look great for me. I'm going to have to move up too. Has the camera moved? Who cares, mate? So actually, just recorded some audio only. I should really get one of them little dictaphone. Can I use your dictaphone? No, use your fingers like everyone else. Yeah, the Argos website still supports that term actually, dictaphone, even though it's not in the title of the products for sale. But all the ones I saw for a reasonable price, and by reasonable I mean cheap, they use AAA batteries. Which is of no good to me because I can't go to the shops. Yeah, that's for another video. But I could actually start doing Amiga reviews if I find the Amiga 500 in pieces that had the working Gotek USB floppy drive thing on there. Yes, it would be highly annoying swapping discs around, but I've got no way to write these ADFs back to a real disc, so I can load up, you know, a 3-disc game on 3 different external drives if I had 3 working ones. I don't know if I do at the moment. Yes, hopefully we haven't changed anything. Yeah, that looks about the right. Yeah, it's good to go. Now you can see it's not quite leveling anyway. But anyway, who cares, innit? We even had a jumper on the other day. It's a great summer. It's just that the 9 or 10 hot days of the British summer we had this year, which it's not particularly hot summer, they all came together when there was no breeze and no cloud to break up the relentless sunshine. So anyway, I obviously did some research and put some different games together. Let's start off with Wavy Navy, this is a game I thought Moby Dick was. This took a bit of doing. I had to go through all the Space Invaders classed games on Game Base 64. Probably should have done it on Lemon, but anyway. And I eventually found it, and of course it would start with a W. But I did search for the word wavy, but I put an E in there, so I don't know. Who knows, mate? As far as I remember, this is quite an early game. There were a few comments on it, on the video that I've got of it already. It's not a review, it's a gameplay video capture footage thing. That was always stage 1 of Mad Commodore and PPP I. Yeah, that title screen wasn't in the original. No. Yeah, that's a nice addition, mate. Let's go with high score. Reset. Thank you. This is quite an interesting idea, actually. It's like, yeah, I'm still puffing on the old roll-up. It's kind of like an adaptation of Space Invaders kind of game. The same way as, you know, some of those excellent enhancements to the VCS version of Space Invaders, which makes it the best version of Space Invaders you could play at home anyway, including if you have like a main console and one of those arcade joystick things, because it actually doesn't use a joystick. Space Invaders has 2 buttons for left and right and 1 button for fire, and they're identical buttons. They're standard arcade buttons. So yeah, you see the idea there. I don't know if they swooped down, even though they drew the title page there. I'm pretty sure there's sound, because I can hear the hum of the inefficient C64 motherboard. I'm surprised no one's made a tiny little circuit board that you can, you know, plug into a SID, well, the other way around, and an SD card, and just play stuff off the SD card, you know, SID files, using a real SID. Even that won't be perfect. Sometimes you have to hear the music running the game engine. I think Rambo was one that fucked up a bit on SID player for the C64, but that's a lot better than you know, emulated versions. With the Amiga it wouldn't matter, because the Amiga is just a digital to analog converter, so as long as you've got 4 DACs in there or something capable of playing 4 samples at once, it's fine. There's no weird tricks or anything, apart from if you have a Kickstart 2 Amiga or above and you put it into double PAL mode, which is non-interlaced, you know, 60-50 frames per second, true. How comes you're getting the sound now, just to annoy me? So maybe I thought, well, he's not playing it. Maybe if we have our rubbish sound playing, like I said. Let's see if it says the date. Actually, going back to the Amiga, there's probably only 20 games I would play on an Amiga, and only 10 of those I would say are worthy of the original 1985 Amiga chipset. And seeing as there's no AGA games that are better than Shadow of the Beast 1, Lotus 2 or Turrican 3. Nice how I got that 1, 2, 3 business going on there. Yeah, AGA is not really... Trying to think if there's an AGA only game. Well, I prefer the music on Super Stardust to Stardust, but other than that, there's no technical reason. Possibly Zool 2 on the CD32, because that's like the PC version with a nice colourful background, not just a copper list. Oh bloody hell, we've seen all the game already. I told you, it's bad to smoke. And he's avoiding everything. Oh, you can't actually stop it. You have to press a key to start the game? No, here we go. That's a bit dumb. I should check for button press. But at least they wait for you. So it's kind of like Space Invaders, but you've got a sinusoidal variation of your height. And I think it alternates from left to right. I wasn't really paying attention. But yeah, that's doesn't really fill me with enthusiasm, the possibility of doing real hardware Amiga reviews. See, the problem with the Amiga 500, and therefore Amiga games in general, very few games came out from UK publishers for the Amiga 1000. I do believe Gary Bracey had seen Marble Madness on the Amiga before they ever did any Amiga games, thank God. And yet he still decided the Amiga must be a piece of shit, because some of their Ocean Amiga games are just horrible. They're like something you could write in Blitz Basic as shit. Could even have a go at doing a better Chase HQ in Blitz Basic if you're really good at that. Maybe on the Amiga 1200. That's not the point. See, with the Atari ST, they started like a year earlier. And the funny thing is, early Atari ST games, they're kind of like say, what do you mean we've only got an AY YM Yamaha rubbish sound chip to work? Nah, we do sample playback during our game engine. So if you look at Gauntlet 1, graphics are great and it doesn't have rubbish YM sound. Well, not for all of it. I mean, you get the idea. Early games like, is it Metro Cross on the ST that has OK scrolling? Roadrunner was absolutely fine. International Karate is better than IK Plus on the ST. For me, the backgrounds are much more delicious in some cases. The Spanish villas are great. Let's go. It plays absolutely fine actually. You know, the joystick routines are fine, so oh, knock it down on the old collision detection there. That's a bit, come on man, I just had to get to him. The waves were going against me. You should never go against the force of the moon's gravity. So it is kind of like Galaxian really, but then Galaxian is classed as a Space Invader clone on their game base, so you can only fire one shot at a time, just like Space Invaders and Galaxian. A policeman's knob is not a massive one, massive one. There's a game that used that tune. And those are my childish lyrics that I knew from back then. Let's see, what other classics were there? Oh, actually, there was a Valentine's sort of one. Oh, no! See, the waves actually had quite an interesting component, and now there's mines going across the bottom. So they have really thought about this. They thought, like, well, Galaxian is quite an interesting game. It's really fun to play. What else could we add on top of it? It's a bit like, whatchamacallit, Jumping Jack, aka Jumping Jack 3D. Where they've said, well, Frogger's great, let's do an isometric Frogger, and it's pretty much the only difference there, with some cutscenes like from is it Ms. Pac-Man, where their ghosts are going backwards and forwards and Pac-Man's getting chased and chasing them, and so even the helicopters hovering about add a new element, really. So there's all sorts of things, and now you can't just like completely ignore the waves at the very lowest level. You have to actually account for, you know, the mine, which goes over the lowest crest of the wave, if you like. I'm sure that would get me, otherwise there's no point having it. Unless that's a cue from James Bond sending you help. Yeah, because when you was a little kid, really, it was either Star Wars or James Bond that really influenced you. He knocked him on the head and illegally conscripted him into the Navy. That's what he did. And if you don't know what tune that is, so that's your problem, mate. Yes. See, the waves are actually changing. It's actually really challenging. I would have loved this game back then, and I'm pretty sure that's what I said on my comments on the last video about this game. I'm not sure if it actually moves you, that's the problem. It's interesting because if you go with the waves, you keep your altitude, but dodging them bombers is actually really tricky. I would say having a whole line, you know, of bombs going across there that close, that's a bit early for the, you know, the difficulty level. It's very difficult to judge. And now you got that guy from Magnum in the helicopter. What was his name? God, I haven't seen Magnum for decades. I don't know if I could sit through an episode of it. It wasn't really one of my favourites back then. Yeah, I don't think you move, so it's difficult to tell, actually. No, you don't, so you just have to judge it right. And if you're going against the waves, you have to remember that you're actually going slower and your height is going up or down. That's my fleet of one. Yeah, I'm not going to talk about World War One now. Yeah, I like that actually. And because I'm not splitting the damn things over, that took a hell of a long time. I'm going to go back to some of my old videos and time how long it takes for the black screen to go away. Bit more tea, the luxury that it is. Now of course next 3 weeks is still kind of like a heat wave danger zone. You know, it could happen still, but hopefully it won't. But ooh, not my home country, but a country that is owned by my home country. They're suffering badly, you know, from the fires. Well, we've had the sweet tea, we've had a sweet little Galaxian adaptation. Trying to, should I play Savage? Now Savage looks really nice on the Amstrad CPC, and although it is a 4 or 8 pixel character type scroll, it's not bad. You have to remember with the Amstrad in multicolour mode, I can't remember if that's mode 0 or mode 2, you know, same as a C64 chunky pixel mode, which is the official name for it on the prototype specs, not really, but yeah, in that sort of screen mode the Amstrad can only move stuff 2 pixels at a time maximum. But on the C64 you're drawing in fat pixels, but you move the screen in any direction with single pixel movements. That is a difference actually. I'm pretty sure the Atari does that too, because most Atari games are in that sort of double width pixel mode. Maximum vertical resolution. We're going to say yes, yes, okay. No lights are on. No, okay. Don't know what to make of the music, if I'm honest. The main bass line instrument is not nice. If that was different in some way, then it might be alright actually. So no, BBC Micro bullshit going on again. Or is it? Because have a look with my Kurt glasses, thank you. So they are actually using one grey and light blue, and the only reason that would be a restriction for you if it's a fucking 1K fucking shitty character based multicolour mode. Bullshit. And what's going on with your sprite? Looks like it's been dipped in chocolate. It's like a banana. It's like one of them banana shrimp sweets, the chocolate covered ones, after you've been sucking on it for a bit. No jokes about sucking bananas, thank you. It's not that kind of channel. The graphics are horrible. And why is that sprite exactly the same shit 3 colours as this one? Can you see the difference? There's no reason for that. Fucking bullshit, mate. Change the brown to a red. Change the fucking yellow to a pink. They're not even the right fucking colours. I fucking hate this. Once again, mediocre music. It's the same shit tune that annoyed me on the title page here. Well, you couldn't squeeze in any more, even though you saved 7K on the fucking bitmap screen. Don't fall, yeah, obviously. Fuck off. This is shit. Alright, new rule. If it looks more like a fucking BBC Micro with a couple of greys here and there than a fucking Amstrad CPC multicolour 16 colour mode game, then it's a shit game. I don't care about the coding. Nothing special about this music. Whoopie-doo, it's got smooth scrolling. How the fuck am I meant to get up there? He won't get up there, look. Right, you can get on that one, but not these. And he said don't fall before. Ah, right, okay. Because of the shit level design, they have to say, oh, don't fall here, but fall here. Fucking knobhead. So the only person who isn't a cunt in this entire project is the fucking coder, unless he had anything to do with the graphics. The palette on the sprites and the fucking backgrounds is shit. Oh, actually, if the coder could only manage to do this with this shit screen mode, which you should be fucking only using with compiled basic, fuck off. Get going, why don't you fucking get going and learn how to fucking do a decent game, you cocksuckers. So look, I mean the graphics themselves are fine, it's just these idiotic palette choices. And just fucking do the game in complete grayscales or something then, if you ain't got any fucking right, next. I had enough of that bullshit. Seemed faster that time. Maybe there's some time dilation going on. Maybe there's a rotating black hole. And the graviton beams are most intense at the polar. I don't fucking know, mate. It was a shit game. That really... Oh, man. If my mate had bought that on the Amstrad, and if I'd liked it, I would have expected pretty much the same graphics as the Amstrad one. And the only reason that wouldn't happen is if you use a shit 1 kilobyte character mode, or the Paperboy C64 conversion mode, as we used to know it back then. It's like some games were like, why are the colours so shit? Why is it like this? And yeah, that's what it is. Oh, I had a good idea. Can I remember the bloody keys? Run the gauntlet. Remember I said absolutely atrocious game with joystick control. See you later, mate. Well, does actually have keyboard control option. So, and obviously with a keyboard. So then I had to like try and find a manual for Run the Gauntlet, and it was like that wasn't happening. I spent like 10 minutes. Google image search is absolutely useless, even if you know how to use it with the speech marks and the plus sign in the correct places. But anyway, but luckily someone, a decent seller of C64 tape games, had taken a picture of a few of the pages of the instruction manual. Right, well I have to finish the story here. So, well known fact, if you bash or tap batteries, they do get going again. You jog the electrons, innit? Going between the cathode and the anode, or the other way around. But yeah, that was such a fucking... Because I searched for what are the keyboard controls first, and I'm like, okay, right, there's got to be a manual of it. And I was like, no, for fuck's sake. So I tried playing it. There's a certain key, if you press that, then the game like pauses, and you have to like reset the emulator and because obviously not all versions work with a bloody SD to AC. This music, it is what it is, mate. It is what it is. Now you have to pick your team. Right, Great Britain, let's go, mate. One player game. Because the game itself is not actually that bad. He says whilst listening to his terrible music. Technically it's not bad. Artistically it's a bit meh. It's not even vanilla milkshake. Oh no, we don't get to drive the buggies first. Can I cycle through them? No. How do you exit a game then? Oh, this is a problem I had before. I couldn't work out because this seems to be random. I actually wanted to play the bit with the buggies, but the problems with the way they've done the control. You've got a 2D rotate left and right sort of driving game, but instead of fire to accelerate, you have to push forward. So that's just like no. That's a big no-no. How cold is the tea? Body temperature, so technically it doesn't matter. It only takes seconds to get down there. So yeah, anyway, I didn't actually want to play this level, so maybe we have to play it through, and the next time it'll be something else. So this bit is kind of like Micro Machines. There we go. Now the problem with this game is it's not obvious which way you got to go. Right? Oh, I suppose the buoys are flashing the way you're supposed to go. So So that kind of you know, makes it a bit difficult at the start. Ooh, see, I thought maybe we can go through the middle there, so that's confusing. Those graphics shouldn't be there. Maybe in the real world they'll be there, but in the real world, you know, you'd have had Martin Sheen, I believe he's called. Oh, crap. Telling you which way to bloody go. So there's that. I suppose once you've played it a few times, if you're not a senile bastard like me. What the hell was that then? Something just blew me up. Oh yeah, they fire at you, because I noticed that on the assault course, isn't it? Gotta go hell for leather, innit? It's like that scrap heap challenge, the rubbish bit at the end I never used to watch. Ah, no. So it's basically one of those cheap ass, you know, slot racing sets. It was just a figure of 8, basically. Like I said, you get the idea eventually. If they'd stop blowing me up, it would help. Tell you what would have been great, a scrolling version of BMX Simulator. Everything else about BMX Simulator is great, except the area is kind of too small. BMX Simulator 2 should have been you riding your BMX in various parks with your mates. And therefore being a park, it's a larger area. And yeah, anyway. So obviously the jet bikes are exactly the same game now. So this is a bit of a... They should have made sure in the coding... it's a different course, isn't it? Ah, come on. That is shit. That's shit coding. So is this a regular loop now? Yeah, it is. So why am I stuck on the water? Maybe it's shallow water. Didn't seem to have that problem with the powerboat. Which is correct, as Live and Let Die would attest to. Oh, come on, mate. It's like BMX Pro Simulator and BMX Simulator 2 where you get stuck on the obstacles, i.e. the side of the track. Kind of rubbish. I didn't even want to play this level, let alone have 2 fucking pretty much identical games one after the other. If you're going to do a random thing, make sure you get like 1 car game and 1 of these. Oh, actually that one doesn't matter because it's not flashing. So it is kind of confusing. I'm getting lapped here, this is terrible. It's like a racing game where you don't know where to go, like on the PS1, and you just follow the other cars. Oh, he didn't crash, he finished the bloody course because we're going to be last. I'm not touching any other keys on the keyboard because like I said, there's a pause button and I ain't got the full instructions. I might actually have the game though. It's quite a common game. Let me guess, hovercraft looks exactly, there you go. Fuck off. Have we missed a fucking thing yet? I think we have, you know. Gonna have to go back now, because see if there was like... Nah, they weren't flashing. Well, they're not flashing now. Terribly designed game actually. None of those are flashing either. Am I going the wrong way? Oh, okay. So the handling just gets worse. So it's the same game 3 times, but the handling gets worse on the, you know, the craft you're forced to. Why not have a bit of those white bits on the left and right so I can tell that's coming up? Again, this is a shit game design. Typical Ocean bullshit. As far as licenses go, I'm talking about. Some prick come up with a shit idea in that meeting room. I should put a clip of that in there. And they come up with this as the you know, the designs, and no one had the brains there to say, yeah, you know what, yeah, why not do like a few of the cliffs on the side there so people can tell the cliffs are coming up on the shit handling fucking hovercraft you're forcing them to use. And perhaps maybe you should make sure you get a bit of land and sea action there. See that one there, that's just idiotic. Have some fucking buoys or something with arrows on them. Fucking... Like I said, I don't even want to play this part. So some cunt in the game design has decided, you know, he's going to force you to play half the game that you don't want to play, because they're completely different. Please load the game again. Which is exactly what is that. For fuck's sake, it is doing that. So I've just wasted all this time and the battery wasn't even fully charged, for fuck's sake. There's photonic wear and tear going on with my CRT glasses that I'm not appreciating here. How many fucking minutes is this? 36. Jesus Christ. This is a real problem. Why couldn't one of the crackers just put a thing in there that says always play the land course? I suppose for the weirdos, or the sea course, I don't know. Well, I've pressed space, so now it's doing something else now. Alright, it's not loading anything. Some text flashed up. Perhaps you should ignore the keyboard buffer, mate. Perhaps you should write null values to the keyboard buffer pointer registers. It may have actually crashed for all I know. I've got no idea what it's doing. Can't be decompacting like oh well, I assume that was part of the crack. Maybe it isn't, maybe... Well, this isn't great because the other versions didn't fucking work. It's always the same thing, always the same thing. You finally find a copy that works on the SD to IC, but it's not quite right. X29, the graphics are a bit fucked when you start. This, and what was the other game I was playing? You can only basically play the game once. Once the game is over, it's like Law of the West. From tape, even though using a disk drive. How fucking ridiculous. I was using the C64 full size the other day to try and load Skyfox 2, which is pretty much Wing Commander, possibly before Wing Commander was a thing. And of course, out of the 8 versions that have ever been cracked, none of them removed the Electronic Arts protected fast load routines, so it won't work on SD to IC. But it doesn't work on the C64 full size, even with the turbo disk loading option switched off. Absolutely useless. I'm going to run that bastard again now. I want to play the fucking buggies. So this bit, so yeah, I mean... This review should have ended with me saying, you know what? With the keyboard controls, yeah, problem's been solved, so, you know, kick it up a notch. But combined with the lame crackers, who, you know, half of them can't even fucking get the games working on the SD to IC, and seeing as you caused all that damage, mate, to the beloved home computer market, might as well go back and do your fucking job, goddamn. Anyway, go away with your shit music. So look, this time, the hill, Supercats, the hill jets here. But here it says buggies, the hill speedboats. What? Hovers, speedboats, jets. I can't select any of those. There's no way. And it just says press fire to start. No, that doesn't sound like buggies. So that's the end of that one. So run the gauntlet. I'm going to have to sit here for fucking probably half an hour loading it one after the other. And then eventually I'll get to play it on the fucking buggies. Just so I could say, well, this, you know, this 20% version of the game, or 25, or even, I don't know, 33. There's something weird going on there. That's just a shit way of doing it. And why is it only 3 levels? If it's only 3 levels, why can't I pick them myself? That's the whole point of making a game about something. Stop copying reality where I have to sit in front of the TV and endure some random or some cunt's opinion of what the 3 courses for that event have to be. Yeah. Ooh, right. Pang. Pang was another one of those games. Took quite a bit of effort to find something that would work on the emulator with true drive emulation turned off, and therefore possibly, you know, 8.5 times out of 10 that will work on a C64 with the SD to AC. It's not 100%. Found a copy of the disc version of Congo Bongo. It works on Vice with true drive emulation turned off. It will not work on the SD to AC. I've even tried sticking those files in a D81 and D71 image. It's not having it, mate. So that's one game I have to play on the C64 full size. So basically it cost me 110 quid so I could play the disc version of Congo Bongo on a non-CRT TV with a rubbish joystick. Right, okay, well, no, yeah, we'll have that in case the graphics change. No, whatever that is, got no idea. The green light has come on and the Sid did a fart. Must have had a lot of beans. The main instrument and the backing instruments do not go together. Well, it's not loading. So, okay. Pressing space does that. Does that mean it's a joystick port 1 game? I don't know if this is 2-player simultaneous. Well, pressing fire did something there, possibly, or it could have just been a delay. There are coincidences. Because every particle in the entire universe, it is joystick port 1. Oh well. As a kid I saw this little program. It was the red balloon thing. It's classic. This black and white thing. Little girl with a red balloon. And the balloon is red but everything else is black and white. I think that's how it was. But anyway. So actually, I don't like these multi-loading games because I wouldn't have liked it on tape then. That's a problem. Although Pang may have also been on cartridge, so you could have picked it up for 20 quid if you really like the arcade game. I don't like that it's reloading every time I lose a life. That is not something I like. Even with the power up. Imagine if every time Arkanoid, you know, every time you lost a life on Arkanoid, it had to do like, you know, 15 seconds of multi-loading. Again, Ocean, what the fuck are you thinking? If this is how it was on disc, useless, mate. The SD to AC is not actually any faster. It's just, I don't like it, mate. That ruins it because it's breaking my concentration. Again, got some knobs in the, you know, in the fucking development room. Their shithole offices. And, you know, he said, you know, oh, we've got to do it like this. And no one actually stood up and said, well, that's a stupid idea, mate. What, they're going to have to fucking sit there staring at a black screen for 10 seconds after they dazed? You fucking knob, learn how to fucking write games. But of course, no one said that. She's right, we have to find something else. Jim Sachs Saucer Attack game. We've got the right one now, I hope. I'm pretty sure I went on GameBase specifically and found the one I thought it was. It may have been Lunar Attack that I loaded up the other day and I was like, nah, this ain't the shit I wanted. 46 minutes, very difficult to tell. Bloody white bar in the SD to IC. Yeah, piss off, 46 minutes 31 seconds. So at least you know the audio is synced up. You thought it was a US gold loader there for a second. So yeah, Mr. Defender of the Crown pixel artist, he did this game in 1985, all of it, including the sound if I remember. Alien saucers are attacking Hope Valley, whatever. Your job is to destroy them. Use the joystick to line up the crosshairs and press button. The saucer, which rotates from right to left, will stop when the fire button is pressed. This saucer is worth 1 point. The other saucer will keep moving and it is worth 4 points. Right, okay. Blah blah blah. Saucers lose a point for each point you get. They gain a point every 3 seconds. And a point when you miss. The game is over when a saucer lands or if their score reaches 50. Oh right, so if you get to 150, you have a chance at the mothership. So that's interesting. You have to earn the next level. There's no sort of like set time limit. Well, I suppose it's the same with Galaxian if you don't pick them all off. Well, Phoenix, because that has a mothership. Player's name, you have to use this one because the good videos, actually no, this game will not go on my second channel, which is not going to be called that. So I have to do the Mad CBM. The swearing videos will only be on Mad CBM, aka Mad Commodore. Okay, this is joystick port 2 unusually for a 1985 game. Thing is, your cursor, or your gun sight, I should say, actually stops as well while you're firing, not just one. So if you're trying to follow one that doesn't stop moving when you've like fired your shot, then come on, I've got him there. That's bullshit. And because they gain a point every 3 seconds, so that's probably why in my gameplay video of it, when they're doing that you can't actually shoot them. So there's a few problems, but 1985, who knew? You know, run the gauntlet, you should have known fucking better, Gary Bracey. In the David Ward era, you know, 83, 84, 85, whatever, you know, we were still learning what works, what doesn't. You know, the more time you spend in the arcade with different machines, the more you get an idea, because that's really where, you know, these type of games are honed, really. They won't make a mistake like that, unless they're trying to get your money. Well, that was close. So our score is kind of going up. So you know what, if it wasn't for the fact that when I fire, my gun sight stops, then, you know, that's... Yeah, it always stops, whether they stop moving or not. So that's unfair. That's a level of difficulty too far. So if I did a series, a level of difficulty too far, on my new channel, whenever that is, before, it has to be before Christmas. Quite a bit before Christmas, because we got to finish up enough of the house so I can do my Ghostbusters special. My cat wants to come in this room, but the cat he wants to kill, well, or hurt seriously, aka his daddy, he's in here sleeping, so it's a bit unfair to swap them over. Plus he was in here all night, so nah. But yeah, you know what, that's not bad for 1985. Back then you probably would have put up with the insane difficulty to see the mothership level. That's interesting. It's basic with machine code ultimate. Sure, someone's got the source code for it. Well, you could just load it manually and then it doesn't run when it loads, I suspect. I don't think it loaded more than 2 parts. So problem here is it'll be in the same directory there. Now, why am I doing SYS? So I can't do SYS. But yeah, CRT glasses don't work well at the sides because they're plastic lenses, you bastards. Thanks to millennials who've got no fucking taste or sense of getting ripped off stroke value for money. All reading glasses, even the ones from the opticians, are now fucking plastic unless you specifically, possibly specifically ask for glass ones. And obviously plastic gets scratched a lot easier than glass, so that's not an excuse. How many minutes we got in there? 52, right, might be able to squeeze something else on. So okay, let's do Space Invaders 2021. The idea was, assuming it works on the SD to IC, the idea was that I would take not this footage but later recorded good footage, you know, that comes out really good of the CRT playing this game, and overlay it on the you know, the backgrounds you get in the arcade version. And beef up the sound with like a bit of bass and treble and all that kind of thing. Well, more bass, because that's what it'd be like on the real arcade cabinet. Is there an intro? Oh, that is the intro. I thought an intro to this. How about Unlimited Lives? What does that mean? Joystick to left, yes. Joystick to right, no. Oh, maybe it's joystick port out, and that's just confusing. It's like, because Space Invaders does not have a joystick, yeah, it just has a left and right fire button, like I already said. So anyway, let's do no and no to these. Joystick port 2, okay. Colours are really not going to come out on this at all. You can barely see any colours there. Yeah, see that green? I'm going to have to up the brightness, and hopefully this menu select button works enough that I can down the contrast a bit and up the colour, because it's not going to come out right. And now we put the brightness down a bit. That's very Atari-esque on my CRT. Not so much on the old camera. Maybe the LCD on the camera's rubbish, who knows, mate. Well, we are in joystick port 2, so how do I start the game then? F1. Oh, that's interesting. CRT glasses back on. The sound is nothing like the arcade. Even if I mess about, with a digital graphic equalizer, I can't really fix that. I think